right, guys, welcome back to another playtest session. I'm going to be playing against Andrea Mengucci. He's going to be playing Reanimator, and I'm going to be playing 5 of my favorite decks, out of which, of course, you can find the guides for over on my MetaFi. So that if that's anything in your interest, I would be delighted to see you over there. First, I'm going to be playing Izzet Delver Cutter, and the objective against Reanimator is to reduce their life total as fast as possible to make Reanimate a non-factor. There's a little bit of help here from a couple of Noxious Revival, which, funnily enough, is just a decent card in this deck owns plan when it comes to, you know, Chandler, Corey, Delver action. And we improve a little bit after sideboard with some Pyroblast and a Surgical. So yeah, I think this match is going to be sweet. Let's get to it. All right. I'm playing Izzet Delver Cutter against Reanimator. How does this hand look? This hand's probably fine. Some terrible stuff can happen in this game. So I think I'm supposed to wasteland my opponent here and see what they're up to. Here's Floating Blue. Here's Brainstorm. That's fine. With 2 cutters in hand, it's a little bit scary about cracking these baubles, but I think it's fine. Okay, so the opponent has Entomb. Let's just draw twice here. If this was a volcanic island, maybe a little bit different. Okay, that's not ideal. So the way the opponent played, I think they had a 1-lander with Entomb. Entomb Reanimate, probably. So now let's see if they got there on the Brainstorm. I think I'm in deep, deep trouble if my opponent can play the game from here. So that's a good play that beats Daze. And I think now I don't think I'm allowed to play my Delver. Is that even right? No, I think I have to play my Delver because I can't beat land anyway, and they went Swamp. So, okay. Let's cross our fingers that we are not just super dead here. Sometimes that's what happens. Triple Cutter is absolutely atrocious. A Triple Cutter Island is the worst combination you can ever think about. Okay, so now we're dead. We're not dead. We're getting Thought Seized first. So technically, the opponent's clearing Force of Will here. Okay. So the opponent's not dead. The opponent didn't have Reanimation. That's fair. Dragon Rage Chandler. Great magic card. Attack for 1, play a terrible land. Unfortunately has you drew a Murktide or Chandler written all over it. The opponent is not fetching end of turn because they might need to turn this into a black source later. They don't want the island, I guess. Flip with Ponder is not bad. So let's attack with Delver. Aim to cast Ponder. Reducing my opponent's life total. Force of Will and a red source. Let's think about this. Force of Will is fine. The thing is, this Chain Lightning puts my opponent out of Reanimate range next turn, I believe. Let's see. Attack to 11, Chain Lightning to 8. And then Reanimate is off the table. A little bit unconventional. Oh, I can't get to that card. My bad. I need to get to the Force now and then the land. Okay, never mind. But that was tempting. We could be looking at a Murktide game. Maybe if the opponent goes basic island, bounce end of turn, things change a little bit. I think the objective is still to work on my opponent's life total and fight over Murktide Regent. It's just so unlikely I get there. Like, what is my opponent's hand? Like, Entomb, more Entombs. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they have force of their own. Is this where I'm supposed to play Cutter first main? Or get in for damage? I think I'm supposed to get in for damage. I think it's relatively clear I don't have a Bauble slow rolled. And I want to hold up this Wasteland in case they go Fetch Surveil. Or do I? Let's think. I have a Chain Lightning on top. If I play Chandler now, I put my opponent dangerously low. Okay, let's try this. So what if I played Cutter? No, that wouldn't be better, I think. I think this is great, because this way I get to Wasteland the potential Surveil, and I get to pay for a daze. My opponent's in a tough spot. Okay, so their hand is essentially Force Blue card, Murktide Regent, maybe X2 even. Excess Entombs. Yeah, this is just atrocious from the side of the opponent. Ponder. Yeah, we accept Ponder. So this is maybe too late for for Reanimate, because I have Chain Lightning on top of my deck. Maybe. I guess if they hit a force, it's not too late. Well, it is, because they would have to force back on my force, go to 1. Then they can't. Okay, force a negation. Force a negation stops my plan. This is so because my opponent had such. I'm not. I'm not here to say my draws weren't poor, because I have 3 cutters in my hand on turn 6. But it's just when you make content, it's just awesome when it lines up so that both players are either drawing well or poorly, right? It's otherwise it's a little bit one-sided and just a little bit whatever. So these scrappy games, I think that those are cool. Shuffle, which I guess is great for me. The opponent has not made a land drop. The opponent knows about days. Chain Lightning on top of the deck. What is that supposed to do? Attack my opponent to 6, burn them to 3. Reanimate onto that card. So now I will put my opponent to the test here. They will force back. They will be at 1. And then I'm trying to beat exactly force negation. Well, the opponent found force and negation, and I have exactly Chain Lightning and not Lightning Bolt. That is too funny. That is too funny. But yeah, I thought I found a sweet line here. I guess I did what I could. And yeah, surviving on 1 life is it's a little more fun than dying on 0, right? They obviously did that. So now they can play a land if they want to. They don't want to play a land. That's also a pretty funny play. All right. So let's go to sideboarding. Okay, so we're playing against Reanimator with expected Barrogoyf coming out of the sideboard, which is super scary. So what can we do with that? I think Chain Lightning is not going to make it. Maybe 1 Bolt is not going to make it. Like all of the other cards. Triple Graveyard Interaction is good. Maybe cut 1 more Bolt and then 1 Daze, I guess. Yeah, I think this is fine. Ooh, Chain Lightning. The sorcery speed Chain Lightning has never been worse than that game. Because if it's a Lightning Bolt, I just fire it on my opponent's upkeep and it's over. This hand is fine. This card has some stuff. Get a clock going. Hopefully delay the Barrogoyf. Hopefully beat the graveyard with Surgical. If I'm lucky, I get to Lightning Bolt. Itamio. Fatal Push would be annoying. Pass. Okay. Let's see what this is. This is a flip. That's sweet. Really good for me. So now the cool thing is if the opponent wants to go end step Entomb, they're getting wastelanded. So I think this is what I want to bait. I want to cast this Ponder. I want my opponent to respond here with Entomb, and then I want to wasteland. Okay, that didn't come to fruition. Brainstorm with a bad card, is that better than just drawing fresh cards? I'm gonna try and shuffle these and see if I can get a better one. So, Noxious Revival. So maybe I can wait. I can wait with the Wasteland now, maybe. Okay, so let's cast another cantrip, because I kind of have double protection out of the graveyard. Channeler and Daze. Those are strong. Let's draw the Daze. Pass. So I was able to hide the Wasteland here. Oh, never mind. Here's an end-step Brainstorm. I think that's totally reasonable. I need to Daze a Barrogoyf at some point, I think. Graveyard is handled. Block established. The opponent is now sitting on basics. Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize is very annoying because they are currently wasteland proof, and this Daze was handling the Barrogoyf. Ooh. Okay, so it looks like Mingu is actually trying to win out of the graveyard. I have another wasteland on top that I don't love. I think I can find some lethal here. Uh, can I? With Bolt and Noxious, maybe? Here's Brainstorm. Sure. Why did the opponent take Surgical? Why did you take the Surgical, my friend? Yeah, I'm actually not sure. Taking the Surgical. Is that because... No, you don't have Entomb Reanimate, because I have so many must counters here. Unfortunately, we're in Murktide Regent territory now. A card that severely crushes me. Let's see, 9. Bolt to 6. Noxious it back. Bolt to 3. Get in for Delirium. I mean, I have that lined up. Here's a Tamiyo. Tamiyo is not something I'm super scared about. Is this the opponent trying to get there with Baragoyf before they get killed? I'm not sure. So let's do this. Mill over the land. Try and kill the Tamiyo. I'm trying to mount enough of a air force that Murktide Region is not going to do it, or Baragorf rather. Okay, here's Brainstorm, so that works. The opponent now has a flip Tamiyo. I will now kill Tamiyo and bring my opponent down to 8. So let's see. I think I have to... let's see. So this is lethal if I hit Delirium. What happens if I don't? I think this is fine. Let's try this. So Delirium, Noxus Revival onto the Bolt. Trying to hit creature or artifact. This card is gonna be better than... Wait a minute. I'm not gonna draw it though. Okay, so I think I have to mill here. Huh. So now I feel like I should even daze my Bolt here to dig as deep as possible. But then I unlock my opponent's Fatal Push. I didn't think this through. So maybe what we can do here is resolve the trigger first, then consider dazing. Okay, let's try it. I got there on the Delirium, but I turned on my opponent's Fatal Push while doing so. Unclear. They get me to commit to the attack, and now they can fire the push. So yeah, we tried our best here. Ooh, we got there. That was sweet. That was sweet. I didn't know what to make of that, but I had to get a little creative there. I'm happy it worked on the exact last draw. So I think I like my setup. I don't love to have a ton of dazes, but I think it's a necessary evil. So I expect Baragorf to be in my future. The Wastelands, my opponent can sometimes play around, and I just look like a fool, but think this is fine. Couple of bolts, including Pyroblast. Maybe I have one too few here when it comes to turn 1 Tameo. I don't know. I think this setup is decent against Reanimator. Atrocious hand. Easy mulligan. You cannot win with hands like this. Opponent keeps 7. I find a better one. So now I should probably hang on to both creatures. So which plan am I willing to be bad against? I think I have time to find a Daze. But then again, maybe that's my backup for some aggressive draw. Okay, I'll try and be weak to Tameo here. I think this is a very, very hard put to the bottom decision. Okay, we dodged the Tameo, so that's great. Here's a Channeler. I will consider what to do end of turn here. Maybe I need to keep this Daze for later. I was just contemplating what I'd do if the opponent entombs me here. So the reason why I keep 2 Channelers is basically they're so likely to have the first removal spell that, you know, I just have to respect it. Here's Thoughtseize. So Thoughtseize here is acceptable. They lose some life. I get closer to Delirium. I have 2 layers of stuff here. Hopefully the revival is playable. If they have a removal, they can consider taking Channeler, killing this one, buying a ton of time to just eventually beat the Daze. Let's see if we can learn anything about our opponent's hand. Taking the Daze here, so that could be some Baragoyf foreshadowing here. I think I should try and get in there a little bit. So am I ever gonna Noxious my Daze? Is that crazy? If I draw that, then I ponder, then I attack for 6. My opponent's at 10. I'm now Baragoyf proof. Ish. While I try and get there. Ah. I'm bad against Murktide, I think. But maybe I can look for... Maybe I can look for Pyroblast. Put that into the yard. Is this good? Then I have Daze Force. Let's see. I draw Daze. I cast this card. I draw into Force. Okay. Guess we try that. So keep, draw, or at least have a look here. So I guess I want to draw another Daze the following turn. But I'm just attacking for 2 here. I don't know if I spread myself too thin here. It's really the classic tempo here. I'm trying to get there with a 1/1 Nimble Mongoose. My opponent knows about the Daze. They have time here because of these boys. One removal spell is not useful because that will just give me delirium. Yeah, I'm super scared about this. So I have the option of milling over Force of Will land. Is this just the opponent going back-to-back Baragoyf? Yeah, okay. So daze that. I think I have to keep milling here. Because my opponent could easily have the next land. So get rid of that card, get rid of that card. Hopefully daze resolves. Otherwise, of course, I'm going to fight here. Bobble. Draw another daze. Attack for 2. Yeah. I really tried to tempo here. Don't play land, bro. If you play a land, I think I'm in trouble. Ooh, that was lucky. One more. Pyroblast. The thing about Pyroblast is it handles Murktide, which is a way out of this for the opponent. Okay, I'm going to keep this card. That was really close. I think I hold the land now. Is that crazy? I think it's a little crazy, because if my opponent goes Murktide, I want to kill it end of turn to manipulate my draw step. Yeah. All right. All right. Yeah, this is a crazy game. I'm really happy with this one on coverage. Here's Baragoyf. Third one getting forced. I think, yeah, this one doesn't do anything anymore. Boom, I hit a creature. Look at me. So play land, attack for 6. Looks like I have done it. The opponent needs to resolve Murktide and a removal spell. Or double removal. I guess double removal will do it. Oof. Noxious onto my daze. The opponent had to start somewhere. Dazed a lot of times. Ooh, baby. I hope this is Murktide Regent. Okay, this is petty theft, and I'm gonna win with Pyro. You'll love to see it. You'll love to see it. Oh, Bitter Triumph. Ooh, baby. It was Bitter Triumph, so you don't love to see it. Wasteland. Okay, let's Wasteland and pass. The opponent knows I kept this card. Now they know it's a Pyroblast, right? No other card I would keep in this spot. Get back Chandler. That's a nice one. Looks like the master is not done yet. Brazen Borrower. That's really funny. So I guess the timing of that is gonna be now. Is that right? Maybe upkeep is better. Entomb. Yes. Opponent will drain the deck of a shitter. Probably just another Entomb, to be honest. Nope, just another Reanimate, sure. Oh, sorry. mill over that card, obviously. Then I'm gonna send the channeler back to my hand. Ooh. Okay, okay. So there's one enemy dead in my opponent's deck. Let's see. How does that work? Does that work how let's see. Enemy dead enters. I bounce. Yeah, I don't think I can beat that one enemy dead. If that card is enemy dead, I would love to see that. That would be just so cool. Here's Wasteland. The opponent keeps me off Borrower. Mana, I guess. They have to pass. Here's the Chandler. And now, is this where it all ends? So enemy dead crushes me. I'm gonna upkeep this Pyroblast. Land is fine. Wow, that was a great one. I really hope you guys enjoyed that one. Let's see if we can keep up the good quality. Next up, we have a mono red prison. We're trying to cast Shallows on one. We are trying to get to chapter 3 on Saga to go fetch our soul guide. We're trying to end the opponent's misery with Under a Blood Moon or Magus of the Moon with the Broadside Bombardier, Paragoyf, that sort of stuff. Outside of the board, I upgrade with Fairy, Unlicensed Hearse, and a little bit of Murktide Baragoyf removal. So yeah, I have high expectations for this one. Let's have a good one. All right, we're back with more Magic the Gathering here. We're testing for Eternal Weekend, and I'm on Mono Red Prison now. This hand is fine. This hand has, you know, I mean, you should probably even call this hand good. Let's not fool around here. I'm up against known Reanimator, and I have turn 1 Chalice of the Void, turn 2 One Ring. Not going to complain about that one. We are playing with known matchups, so this will get forced a bit more often. Force a Will, pitch Force a Will. So this is a classic one from the Reanimator side, where how many times can I realistically cast Force a Will this game? How many times can I pitch? Ooh, here's Tamiyo. So my opponent wants to try and rebuild here, or try and, you know, yeah, recoup essentially. So what I could do here is just kill that card and stop my opponent's situation here. Also, I don't think they have these. So let's try and develop Ursa Saga, pitch Spirit Guide, play 3/4 Pyrogoyf to kill the Tamiyo. Basic Island is also a weak move. It's a I'm scared of Blood Moon move. I also like developing Saga here because it's an avenue for Graveyard Hate. Oh wow, Magus of the Moon even. So let's slam Magus of the Moon and attack for 5. I think my opponent is in trouble here. So we already have enchantment and artifact in the graveyard, so let's just go straight to combat here. So I think I'm up against end step Petty Theft. I think my opponent's dead if they don't, so let's keep it up a little bit here with essentially threat number 4. All right, having a Chalice start and winning is not exactly rocket science, but I'm happy. I'm happy for it. So on the draw, normal Blood Moons are quite bad. Boots is not going to be my target. It's going to be Soul Guide a lot of the time. So I don't love these cards. I don't like Fury either. I like these 6, and then I get to keep 1 more, I believe. So is that a Blood Moon or is that a Boots? Blood Moon or Boots. So I guess Fury in combination with Bombardier kills Theragoyf. It's not really reliable at all. Oh, I have Unlicensed Hearse on my sideboard. Oh, perfect. I missed that one. Yeah, sure. Let's bring in Unlicensed Hearse. Now we're on the draw, and it's a different ball game. Burying my opener. I love to see that. This hand is essentially hoping or my opponent goes combo. Magus of the Moon that I can slam turn 1. It's bad against Fatal Push. I think that's okay. Put a land under it. Put a bounce target Baragoyf under it. Bounce target Murktide. This card might be good later, so let's see. If I put Eruption and Spirit Guide under there, does that make sense? Huh. If they kill this card, the game goes on, and hopefully I can make Saga tokens. So maybe those Saga tokens are my avenue here. Okay, let's try. Pitching Spirit Guide here for the second one. Then I'm playing Ursus Saga, and then I'm playing Magus of the Moon. Let's see what the move is here from the side of the opponent. Basic Island. Is this Dismember? It's not Dismember. So turn 1 Magus really doing work here, I would imagine. Did turn on off my Saga. Let's get in there. Chalice is a nice draw. I thought about land destruction here, but I don't think that's the move. Let's play Chalice of the Void for 1. No petty theft, it looks like. Ooh, nice. Very nice. The basic swamp. That got me good. One ring. Sure. Oh, wow. I could have played a land last turn, but I didn't. Yeah, that was atrocious. I guess I thought of it as a spell. That's kind of funny. One ring. Draw. I'm going to pass here. And then I'm going to wonder if my opponent can just bin some cards. So let's see. Oh, they don't want to attack. Oh, wow. The opponent could be in trouble now. One ring is certainly a magic card. These cards are bad. So there's that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Yeah, let's tap like this and play. Do I play Spirit Guide or second Magus? Maybe just second Magus is fine. I think this is all about me finding, you know, Bombardier in time. Chalice for 1 does a lot of work. I'm actually super happy my opponent's not attacking. I feel like that would be a tough decision. Spirit Guides. These cards are a lot better. So now I can go Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Also now, I should land destruct my opponent. I'm getting forced here. That is totally fine. Which should I land destruct? Maybe the black is just the one here. Yeah, let's try that. Land destruction. And yeah, that's gonna do it. The opponent has no more black spells available. All right, we had some swift draws here with Mono Red Prison. Let's keep it up. All right, guys. Jeskai Wizards is next up. I have been playing this deck for a few months. I would say it has more or less reached its final form. Flex slots are a couple of minor missteps. I will hopefully get to catch some Entomb Reanimate action with those. I have also moved a Wrath of the Skies into the main deck so that I could fit the 4th Consign to Memory. Other than that, pretty standard control stuff going on here. Cantrips, counters, removal spells, and then a little bit of finishers. Let's see if we can take down the Blue-Black Menace. All right, more Magic here. I'm playing against Mr. Mengucci. He's on a mulligan to 6. He's playing Reanimator. I'm playing Jeskai Wizards. My hand looks very serviceable. A little bit of force action, a little bit of card advantage, good mana, a little bit of fixing. Hand fixing, that is. So the thing to realize is we're playing these matches with known matchups. Yeah, exactly, known matchups. So that means in general, our opening hands are going to be slightly better than against the field. Ooh, nice Force of Will. I think the move here is to try and get Tamiyo going. If we can get Tamiyo going, I think Mengu is in trouble. Tamiyo, a great way to dig yourself out of a Force of Will hole. Thoughtseize resolves. I have double force over here. Mengu takes care of the more flexible force. Is this just a Tamiyo of his own? That was indeed a Tamiyo of his own. And I draw Plow, so I'm probably one of the best ever. Let's attack with this and hold up for days. I don't think I'm in a hurry here with the Clue Machine. Here's the upkeep Entomb that inevitably will resolve. So now I'm bad against double Reanimation. So I should play the card that digs the furthest for exactly that. And that would be Thundertrap Trainer. Here's another negation. I did forget that I'm out of blue cards though, but maybe that's fine. Yeah, let's take this negation. So this way I'm Thoughtseize proof, and I'm 1 animate dead, 1 reanimate proof. This looks like it's not the case because the opponent had a land to go with the animate dead, I would imagine. All right. That was a cool one. The opponent beat triple force in theory. I really liked where that game was going, but no dice. So let's see. We have some bad cards here. I can easily cut second planes. Maybe the Earlingus is not where I want to be. Cutting a tree. This card is not bad, I think. Then maybe playing like this. I have 4 surgicals. I can go find off trainer. I keep all my removal. I have a little bit of still have the most of my card advantage. Maybe I'm supposed to play like this. Maybe this is slightly better. Yeah, that was a beating. I really loved my my position there. The opponent did what they were supposed to do. Good timing on the Entomb. That won the game, right? Because if I counter that card, the opponent has 2 reanimation spells and they would be in trouble. So great play leads to more wins. I mean, that's what you want to see when you play Magic, right? All right. I play first. Sideboarded game. Let's see if I have better game this time. I like this hand. This is a Wasteland matchup, which is a little bit annoying. But I think this is going to be fine. Basic Island here and then delay the decision on the Strand, essentially. I will misstep a lot of things here. Thoughtseize, Tameo being the obvious ones, and then also Entomb, where the timing is going to be slightly worse. Let's fetch Island and misstep this Thoughtseize. Pyroblast could be a good one. Daze is a magic card. I'm a little bit scared of that fact. Land pass, maybe? End-step Brainstorm? Okay, that works. So I can go get Plains Mountain here. But that's not going to help my Murktide region down the line. So maybe this game is not about Murktide. Maybe this game is about trainers and getting there on my disruption. So maybe that means that land is a fine draw. Lane number 4 is good. So I play like this. Let's see. Play that. I might even want to draw the Murktide. Let's see what happens. I'm going to pass here. Then I'm going to win the counter war with Misstep Pyroblast. And then next turn, I'm going to start playing my trainers. Let's see how this works out. The opponent keeps a card on top. I have Murktide Region on top. Is that better than a random card? I feel like if there's fireworks here, I like the Murktide. Oh, wow. The opponent brought in that card. Okay, that changes a lot. That does make Murktide Regent a decent roadblock, I guess. Aragorn against Jeskai Wizards. Okay. I respect that. So let's see. Let's fetch. So this is... No, this has to be blue. And then I have to fetch here as well. No, wait a minute. I messed up a little bit here, I think. Because I can't hold up 2 things. Okay. Yeah, mistakes were made, or at least I didn't think enough about what could happen here. So, Murktide Regent. I'm playing around Daze instead of Wasteland. I could easily see my opponent actually trimming Wasteland. So I'm holding up Pyro for potential Brazen Borrower. I will get blown out by Bitter Triumph. Okay, so the opponent's sideboard plan surprised me a little bit here, getting super cooked by plan B. They even have Voidwalker in. Okay. Yeah, my hand was not ready for this, unfortunately. It's one of the best Bitter Triumphs I've seen. This just might be over. I need the plow ASAP. So that card kills Baragoyf. That's not bad. Deal 5. So what's the alternative? The alternative is something like play trainer, play trainer. Yeah, that's gonna backfire. 5 damage onto that card. Yeah, my opponent now has a Void Walker. I don't have Pyroblast up this turn. Maybe that's fine. I'll misstep just about anything in this spot. Let's see if the opponent has these 7 creatures in. What did they even cut? Yeah, I'm not sure. The opponent keeps up the pressure here with a card I can thankfully deal with. Very nice plan B execution here from Mr. Gucci. So maybe I'm supposed to train her first. Am I supposed to fetch? I think so. So I fetch a Tundra. Then I'm going to train. Trying to find a plow here. I don't love this hesitation. That's bad news for me. That is bad news for me. All right, let's see. What do we have here? That is not a Swords to Plowshares. That is not a Swords to Plowshares, but it could be next turn. So I take a Brainstorm. I then kill the Murktide Regent and play another Trainer, I guess. My opponent forces here. I need to Desperado Brainstorm and get there. Ooh, they have that. So now I need a plow in top 3 or I'm dead. I hit a plow in the top 3 and I'm not dead. Now I hide, I guess, the second plow from Thoughtseize. The opponent is trying to ice the game here with a Brainstorm response. Force blue card kills me. We live to see another day. I'm currently hoping to get Thoughtseized a little bit. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know if that's true, actually. So what can be in the opponent's hand? Reanimate the Baragoyf. A very strong play. I got it. Okay, okay, opponent. I understand the message. That is tough. So now I need to train her into, I guess, Swords to Plowshares. That didn't work. So now I take the Force. I plow one Shadow guy. I chum block. Yeah, this is over. Well played, well played. We got bested. Let's go into the next one. Okay. Bant Nadu, a deck that I recently won a challenge with. I think the deck is pretty sweet. It doesn't have any great matchups, but no bad matchups, and you just get to play the game a lot. We have our Green Suns Zenith package going on here. We are mainly trying to combine Nomais and Core and Nadu Winged Wisdom. I play for Tamio because I think that card is amazing. It's pretty good at taking the fire while you try and, essentially confuse the opponent and divert from the fact that Nomad and Nadu is your endgame. We have a bunch of Nadu redundancy here from the Zeniths. Sideboard-wise, I get to upgrade with Pharaoh Macabre and a couple of carpets, so not the best equipped for this matchup as I could be, but let's see how it goes, I guess. All right, more Magic the Gathering coming your way. I'm playing Bant Nadu, and I guess this hand is fine. We can present our own Entomb Reanimate on turn 3. Yeah, I don't know. This is not bad. I think this hand has to develop Nomad on turn 1, which is not normally necessarily ideal, but it's a good card to keep your opponent a little bit stressed about what can happen. Let's see what this is. If this is Tamiyo, the game slows down a little bit. If this is Thoughtseize, it's on. Okay, it's Ponder. So the worst of those. I think my move is going to be attack, cast Brainstorm before doing anything else to see if I can bait a Daze. It's a play I love when I have a deck with a powerful 3-drop. Could be Baragoyf, could be Nadu, could be whatever. Mengu likes those. And we draw land, so challenging game ahead of us. I lose to Entomb Reanimate. I think that's fine. Let's see if we can find some good cards. We did find some good cards. Here's a single layer of protection. If I get rid of Savannah and Lush, I can play Heath Pass. So now at least I have Entomb Reanimate with Daze backup covered. Here's Wasteland. If Mengu buys into the story here that I was landlight, let's see, what did I put back? 2 lands, right? Now I just might draw one of those lands. We have a little bit of a weird game here. Okay. If I don't get wasted here, my opponent is representing Daze. But I think, yeah, okay, they just Wasteland later. That's cool. So I am willing to take this draw. Is my opponent willing to let me take this draw? Oh, yeah, sure. So they have good timing here with the draw step. That's good. Put a land into the graveyard. Attack for Uno. Plan to fetch second Surveil. I will lose to Entomb Reanimate. That is, you know, that's how life works these days. Also, a fun little thing that can happen in this matchup is if the opponent deals with Nadu and Nomad, they can start reanimating both and do good things. Brainstorm. Okay, so I guess that's good for me. I'll fetch a Hedge Maze. Dig as hard as I can for Force of Will. Otherwise, I try and go back-to-back Nadu. That's not bad. Because that takes, like, Tamiyo, Murktide out of the equation. Turns my opponent into a counterspell Entomb Reanimate deck. So Thoughtseize here is annoying. The clock is kind of ticking. Nadu hits the bin. Hedge Maze into a redundant Nomad. Both creatures now in the graveyard. Yeah, I think it's time to play my creature here, and I accept getting countered. Here's the Daze. If I slow down here, I think I give too much respect to that deck. All right, so waiting is bad and going for it is bad. So that's the spot you want to be in, right? Okay. Reanimator taking game 1. We can upgrade a little bit here. We have 4 good cards. Let's see how many bad ones we have. We have the cat that I'm never going to see it for. We can easily cut up planes when we're adding carpets. And then I have to do some trimming here. Turn 1. Maybe a card like Safekeeper isn't that great. Maybe it's the same with a Noble. We can bring those 2 out. All right, let's see if we can do better. My opponent played very well that game. Were able to pick me apart. I don't think my opponent has that much stuff outside of removal spells. So maybe it's a little bit of a slugfest. I actually don't mind the Nomad beats that game. It got relatively close to take Reanimate out of the equation. Yes, I would in fact like to play first. Thanks so much for asking. So this looks like Tropical Tameo opener. Hoping to not get Wasteland it. And then hopefully get into the game mana consistency wise with Carpet. Okay, that card gets killed. That's annoying. Let's try and play Carpet, second main phase Ponder. My opponent allows. Force of Will. Nice read. I missed my land drop. So the 1-2 punch is here. Here's Wasteland. Here's Tameo. I draw a land to keep this going. That's good. Otherwise, the game would have been over. So let's allow the Tameo. We need to do that. Otherwise, the opponent will start to snowball the game. Let's see what this is. Okay. Voidwalker. Nice fairy. Let's brainstorm. Ooh, this locks me, I believe. So maybe something like fairy, endurance, play land, then next turn shuffle with the ponder, I guess. Yeah, I'm in trouble here. Very bad run out. Forcing the carpet is always a fun one. What is this? Thoughtseize. So that works. But did I play poorly here? Because I have bad cards on top. Was I supposed to hide the ponder if the opponent has to soul read? The opponent has to soul read. Okay. So that's a very good lesson here that there's no reason to give your opponent the chance to make a good soul read here. So if I just have endurance in hand, I draw the ponder, I shuffle my card, right? And then it's just 3 damage. I time walk my opponent with a bad brainstorm here. The more of that stuff you can incorporate into your normal game, the better you're just going to do. So it's like, it seems like a small thing, and then I got obviously unlucky to get punished here. But it's just overall raising your floor. That's basically what the play is about. All right. The Voidwalkers take me down to 9. And I don't have anything to do about it. and I already time walked myself, so big problem. Here's Swords to Plowshares, which will stabilize. So yeah, I took too much damage here. Wasteland makes me a Selesnya gamer, Maverick player. The opponent has 2 cards. I don't even know what those are. Probably some graveyard shenanigans. We have to do this now because it's Voidwalker. First blue card, we just leave each other in the dirt. Yeah, I should have had a random card here instead of Endurance or Macabre. And been at 9 life, right? That's the difference. So I guess Entomb Reanimate is stuff the opponent could have here with a known Fairy Macabre. Because I think I hit a Macabre and an Endurance. Well, that card is not good by its own, but it's part of a plan now that if I draw land, I can start jamming 3 drops, essentially. I'll have to force a Will Murktide Regent. Brainstorm is very, very likely to get my opponent to where they want to be. What's my hope here? That they have some Entomb, Reanimate, and they find a Thoughtseize, have a bad Brainstorm, stuff like that. Let's see how good of a Brainstorm Mr. Mengucci can find. Right now, my force pitch is probably Ponder. My opponent knows about the Macabres. So yeah, let's see if this comes to fruition. I lose to Murktide Regent here. If I start pitch Endurancing on the graveyard, I don't think that's a move. I just have to hope my opponent has a very black card-centric hand. I guess that was not the case. Voidwalker it is. Draw another plow. That's really funny. All right. Well, the game keeps going. The opponent just brainstormed and did not shuffle. Did they find a force blue card? They found Double Days. Ooh, that's a sweet one. That is a sweet one. So now I have to find exactly my 4th Swords to Plowshares to win this game. Looks like a Murktide Regent is here to end my day. No, it wasn't. Okay. Thoughtseize. Take my Ponder so that I can't draw land. Great play. Here's Carpet, which gives me 3 mana, but this shadow creature is going to kill me. All right. Well played. Well played. We have 1 more match to go, so stick with me. All right. Last match of today. I'm playing Mystic Forge against Reanimator. I have a Tormod's Crypt. I like it over Soul God Lantern because it's tutorable with Tezzeret. You a little bit easier, 3 mana instead of 4, or if you have 4, you even beat base. My list is quite standard. I do play main deck Needle for Wastelands, Research Depth for Grind, Candelabra for mana explosiveness. out of the sideboard, I have ley lines, and I'll also be thinking long and hard about a second copy of Pithing Needle in the Face of Wasteland. And yeah, I think the biggest problem here is if he has some draw with, Force plus Wasteland, I could be cooked. If there's some consign action while Tamio's attacking, I can be cooked, stuff like that. Also, I guess mulliganing for Leyline can be terrible, drawing it in the mid game, all of that stuff. So yeah, this is hopefully gonna be a great one. So yeah, buckle up. Last match. All right, last one for today. I'm on the draw playing Mystic Forge against Reanimator. So let's see. This is a turn 2 Tezzeret. I think this is playable, but I'm not over the moon about it. If this was Grim Monolith, we were really talking, but it's Basalt Monolith. So let's see. Play Candelabra turn 1 off tower. Then turn 2, play Tezzeret around days. I think that's fine. Ooh, does this change anything for me? This now goes turn 1, Basalt Tezzeret. Untap. If I want to, I guess. Maybe I should still play turn 1 Candelabra. Let's see. I think this is fine. Pass. Entomb Reanimate, I don't think is in that hand. Then leading on Tamio is a little weird. Because you would want that mana or save your land drop to wasteland me back into the dirt, etc. Here's Thoughtseize. Oh, Thoughtseize himself to get Archon. Gotcha. Okay. That card is sick. So, let's see. That card is pretty sick. Is there a way to beat it? Let's see. Land, Fleshraker, Petal, untap land. So maybe discard a Fleshraker? I'm not sure. Versus Saga is not going to do anything. So let's see. Untap for mana. Play Glaring Fleshraker. I can't beat anything here. I just have to make my best turn. Maybe my opponent's considering... Oh, okay. Yeah, that's going to do it. Okay, nice one. So I have some good cards here. I think I should only bring in these. And then I'm going to do a little bit of trimming here, saying I don't think I'm going to search up a needle. Drawing it could be decent, though. Let's see. I'm not going to... The research desk, I think, is out. I expect to get wasted a lot, so we can take that out as well. I still have a crypt in my sideboard for Karn. I think that's great. Trimming something like a Basalt and a Forge, I think, is totally reasonable. I want another needle instead of a Mystic Forge. That could be fine. I really don't want to get wasted if I can help it. All right, we're submitting this. We really got beat, so yeah, I guess turn 2 Archon with Force is just unbeatable, so it's not really that useful to think about. But I think my hand played out that in such a way that if I get wasted on the tower, I still play on, right? But if I get wasted on the tomb, I don't play on. So by waiting a turn, I also played around days. Seems like a reasonable It seemed like a reasonable play at the time. We're keeping a leyline hand. And we, funnily enough, have a little bit of a cool one here. So maybe the tower is my worst land. I think so. Because then I can go Urza's Saga next turn, which is a must counter. Oh, sorry, a must wasteland, rather. Let's see. We might get Thoughtseized here. I think that's totally fine with this hand. Here's Thoughtseize onto Karn. And I'm essentially forcing my opponent to have a wasteland here. Quite like that. Hang on to the pedal because I play Fleshraker. The wasteland is there. Okay. And here's Tamiyo. So that's a good start against the leyline. Karn is uncastable. This one, however, if I draw an artifact, then Metalcraft is on. That would be pretty sweet. So this is kind of a similar spot that I had when I played Reanimator against Forge, where getting over the hump here is quite important. Let's see. If I resolve Karn here, what do? I guess I just get Portable Hole and the opponent is sad. No, because I'm sacking my only colored source. Never mind. Maybe it's just a flute then. Let's see if Mr. Mengucci can keep it up. I hope not. Land. Not holding up consign. Cantripping for force, I guess. Nope. Thought seizing in the meantime. That's very good. Mengucci's a bad man. Karn gone. And I draw Leyline of the Void. Play land, pass the turn. I have 2 needles in my deck. Ooh, nice. Another Thoughtseize onto a useless Leyline. Oh, sorry, of course, onto the pedal. Well, I now have 1 turn to get there. And I think I have to draw exactly Pithing Needle. Clue getting sacked. I think when he didn't wasteland me, I think I just can't win. Yeah, that's going to do it. Okay, we're going to take one more before I wrap up the video. All right. Last match of action here. I'm playing Mystic Forge against Reanimator, and I have an interesting one here. I think I'm supposed to go Saga Candelabra turn 1. Versus Saga is a great avenue for graveyard hate. And it's just a good threat on its own. The opponent will have an idea that Ancient Tomb is coming with this opener. But then again, I'm playing against Reanimator, so maybe I'm playing some sloppy stuff. And just keeping it on the back of, some questionable hand. Nice wasteland here. Very necessary to not just lose. So let's see. If I research desk now, that's pretty decent. So candelabra, research desk. Mystic Forge or Urza's Tower. I will go with Mystic Forge. Then I'm going to play out a key. I'm going to be very bad against second Wasteland, though. Ooh, I should have played out Pedal. I'm holding pedals a little bit too much. Okay, play that card. I'm playing around days here. I think that's how I'm supposed to play. Uh-huh. Mystic Forge. Playing against 7 cards. I'm bad against Entomb Reanimate. I'm bad against Force of Will. I'll lose, run out of steam here. Got forced. Let's see what Mr. Mengucci can do here. No Entomb. Let's see what the play is. Brainstorm. Looking for some stuff. I'm getting run out of life here. I have to really think about how to proceed. The opponent can find Wasteland here, which would crush me. Okay. So does this mean I'm resolving one of these? Maybe. The basic swamp makes me less worried about Murktide region and more worried about Entomb Reanimate. I think, yeah, he was certainly hoping for just one live card here on my side. Tower is a great draw here for mana concerns. So let's see. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Karn the Great Creator. So that resolves. Is this just where I go Tormod's Crypt? Yeah, I think we go Tormod's Crypt here. Also have a research desk in the graveyard. That's good to think about. So wait a minute, could I have saved life here? Yeah, I could have saved life here. That was bad. I could have gone tap, untap with Candelabra. Yeah. Okay. How much mana did I have available here if I really wanted to go, like, for Lattice here? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I missed something here. It's been a long day. Let's see. 2, 4. Untap both. Down to 3, up to 7. Yeah, I don't know. So let's see. The opponent could have easily have Brazen Borrower here, which kills the Karn. Is there anything I can do about that? I don't think getting lattice here makes any sense. Research desk is there. What about the research desk into... Or maybe my opponent's just waiting to bounce here. So what if I go lattice? My opponent will bounce Karn. What do I have here? Power. Okay. Yeah, let's see. I'm expecting Brazen Borrower here. How can I make a good play here on the way out? Maybe it's just Mystic Forge for gas. Maybe that's fine. So let's go 3, 4, Mystic Forge. Tezzeret off the top. Not bad, not bad. Untap. Tezzeret onto the stack. What happens if I tutor with this card? Maybe just tutor another crypt? Okay, that card on the top is bad. Let's exile it. I'm at 9. Okay, hit another one. That's terrible. Tormod's Crypt. I guess we just pass here, and then I can consider end-step research desk. I'm not sure. I lost track a little bit here. I'm running out of steam. We recorded back-to-back here, and I certainly feel it. I hope you guys had a blast, though. This was really fun to play. The opponent puts a card on top of library. There's Petty Theft onto a crypt. I will actually pop my opponent's graveyard here. I'm trying to play around Merc's Head Regent. So they need exactly bounce. Oh, wow. That's really cool. That's the dream. That's really, really cool. All right. So we had a... Oh, that was game 1? Was that game 1? All right. So this was the rematch. And that was game 1. But I had 2 Tormod Crypts in play, so I guess I got confused there. So Forge, Assault, Candelabra, Research Desk. Another Forge, maybe. All right, let's try and finish this match strong. I was so sure I was down a game here and it was game over. All right. Let's finish strong here. We've upgraded with Leyline. We're keeping a Crypt in the sideboard for Karn. And we're trying to have a brutal hand. This looks great. So I have a ley line. I don't think I'm supposed to slam this Tezzeret, but I mean, I've been burned before by slow rolling. Try and go turn 2 Tezzeret here. Let's see what Mr. Mengucci can do with his opening 7. Surveil land. Okay. But I feel like I'm getting forced here. Oh, wow. Does that change anything? I think it does. Let's lead on Tormod's Crypt. So now my opponent is a Tamiyo Brace and Borrower deck, but they're just a Tamiyo deck, right? I'll try and ask a tough question here. How tough is it gonna be? I think Karn is the best one because I want to have the One Ring left over if I get countered. Ponder, Mengucci's looking for Wasteland probably to leave me in the dirt. I actually think Tezzeret for Mox Opal could be a good play this game. Likes those cards. I'm getting wasted. I'm not getting wasted. What? Why am I not getting wasted here? Why am I not getting wasted? So let's see. One Ring. One Ring gets countered. Does my opponent know about my last card? They don't. Okay. Here's Brainstorm. Tezzeret for Mox Opal. That might be good. I wonder why he hung on to that card. Because he's losing to Urza's Saga, maybe? Yeah, that could be the case. Shuffle. Arn the Great Creator. I guess we slammed that card. So now, let's see. What do we have out here? I can go tutor Candelabra. That seems quite bad. I can tutor Research Desk. That's not too bad. So let's see. Research Desk. That decent? Could be decent. So like that. Play that card. I'm down to 10 life here. I must say, it's not really ideal. So I think I'm going to lose to Brace and Borrower just as a 3-1 this game. Let's see. Thoughtseize my last card. That's good. Well, my Ancient Tomb. Draw another one. So maybe I'm supposed to Research Desk. So what can I do with Karn? I can start killing my opponent's lands with coding. Let's try that out. Liquid metal coating. Play that card. Pass. That card is now an artifact. All right, so we got there with the lock. That was pretty cool. Okay, so we're down to the last game here. Thank you for sticking with me. It's been yeah, a little bit of an ambitious timetable for me, I guess. So sorry about the energy or lack thereof. Let's see if we can have a cool one to end it off. I'll be on the draw, so I guess we're asking for a leyline hand up from 7 or 6, and then play from there. Okay, no such thing, but we have some other good stuff. So let's see. Needle Wasteland. Turn 1 Saga. Yeah, I mean, this hand is obviously good. I'm playing against Entomb Reanimate, though. So play Petal. Play Saga. Needle Wasteland. Hope for the best. The opponent needs Force of Will, Wasteland combo here to crush me, or I guess just their own combo. I guess that'll do. Yes, let's slam down all my artifacts here. Okay, I'm not scared of Ponder. If I'm lucky, my opponent kept. The thing is, if with this in play, Force of Will in their hand is no longer enough, right? And with this in play, Wasteland doesn't do anything. So Needle on Wasteland actually solves a lot of things here. They decline to shuffle, which is problematic. Because now I feel like I'm losing to the combo quite easily. What if I play this? It's 2 mana, 3 mana, 4 mana. Okay, so I feel like I have to jam Karn here. I don't love it at all. I have to force my opponent to have counter magic and their combo. Force a negation, pitch ponder. Good play. Okay, so it's time for the opponent to have Entomb Reanimate, I guess. Otherwise, I'll be sagaing into hate. Okay, so that will get consigned. The opponent has consign and wasteland, maybe? This could be, let's see, fetch. No, that's not Murktide. Okay, so they changed their plan here. Trying to look for Entomb Reanimate, I guess. Alternatively, find a Murktide to slam it. Let's see what they cook up here. Consigned to memory would be annoying. What am I tutoring? I guess I'm just tutoring Tormod's Crypt. And then I'm kind of playing off the top of the deck. If they haven't Tomb Reanimate, they're going to fire it now. So is this a reason? And they know I can go get... I can go get the hate card, but I guess that will get consigned. And then I'm left with a big creature. That's probably the most likely thing here. Unless I just die to Atraxa. Okay, I live to see another day. So, One Ring is an amazing draw. Let's make a creature. Let's tutor. The opponent lets me needle here. The opponent lets me needle. What does that mean? I don't think it means a lot here. So let's see. Tower. 2, 3, 4, I guess. Slam the One Ring. Let's see if we get countered. I'm trying to put my opponent in a spot where it's hard to have everything. Force of Will, pitch Brazen Borrower. Does this tell me I should pop my Crypt? I think I should pop my Crypt here on draw step. I guess if they, keep one of these, then that's the move. Also, were they not supposed to respond to the One Ring with Brainstorm? Do they have Entomb Reanimator right now, or do they have Murktide Regent? I think they have Murktide Regent. Let's see. Let's get blown out here. Explosives for 0. Great draw here. Leyline, not great. No Metalcraft. So pass. Barrogoyf. That is not a card I expected to see. So I guess the opponent was scared of getting leylined. So this puts Sorcerer in the graveyard. This card is now attacking 4, and I need to spike a 4-drop very soon. So I guess in theory that's a 4-drop. Okay. Wait. Yeah, I botched it here. I misclicked. So now I can get negated. That sucks. So let's see. Like that, like that. Yeah, I should have done it on my turn, but I fat fingered the undo, and here we are. So now I can get negated. I didn't get negated. So these cards are great. I will happily take both. Block sack, play One Ring. And Ursa Saga. Let's see if they can follow up with anything cool. So I guess I successfully predicted the Murktide from back then. Unclear if it's going to make a difference, but always a cool situation. So play one ring. 2 cards in the opponent's hand could easily be consigned to memory. Okay, was easily consigned to memory. Now I'm going to take 6. Yeah, this is a problem. Block. Sack. Second Baragoyf. Here's Tezzeret. What kind of... I don't think that card does anything here. Tezzeret. So, how many blockers can I get here? I think I can just get the one and I die to the others. So, let's see. Make a token. 10. Tutor. Find nothing of interest. And I will name... Good games. This was an absolute pleasure. Thank you, everybody, for watching. You should go and check Mengu's point of view for sure. And yeah, I can't wait to play more Legacy back on the channel. Thanks so much, guys.